I did is I wrote out what I wanted to say. It took me about 2 hours this morning, in between a lot of tears. On November 27, 2012, a bright light went out in Kennebunk Court. A light that shone so intensely that people of the community will be able to carry his memory in their hearts forever. That light was Matt. As I stood in line at his wake and listened to people talk about the way their lives and their goals were changed as a result of knowing Matt, it solidified my belief that he was a man of inspiration and encouragement, and that Matt's light was and will remain a guiding light for us all. Matt was a quiet man who spoke volumes in his whispers and made the strongest statements in his actions. He was a husband, father, brother, uncle, son, cousin, nephew, selectman, peer, friend, businessman, volunteer, leader, mentor, and all-around incredible guy. But of all the titles Matt wore, the ones he cherished the most were husband and father. Matt lived life to the fullest, whether he was on safari in Africa, skydiving in Maine, or holding one of his children in his arms while dancing with his beautiful wife, Jennifer. The photos of his life tell a powerful story. He was active, charming, adventurous, and loving. After we learned of Matt's surgery and coma, his beloved community rallied on his behalf and really came together. On Thanksgiving weekend, many of us sat in the pews at the monastery, praying fervently for a miracle and hoping Matt would come back to us. There was a miracle bestowed upon us that day. However, it just wasn't the one we requested. The miracle was in response to the prayers of other family, seeking that one of their own would have a chance at a better life. Matt fulfilled those prayers by donating his organs. With Matt's passing, the light went out in Kennebunk Court. There is a hole in the heart of many of us as individuals and in the heart of the community as a whole. But we are left with Matt's other miracle, which is the light of his spirit, and a light which will continue to guide us. Maybe now we will hold our spouses and loved ones a little more tightly, hug our children more often, and say, I love you, more passionately. When making decisions, perhaps we will consider the question, what would Matt do? And then move forward in a more thoughtful, kind, and generous way. Matt raised the bar when it came to his family, business, and his consideration of others. It is up to us to maintain that standard, and by doing so, we will be keeping his memory alive. Matt gave to his family, his community, and he was an organ donor, so in the end, he gave so that others would live and live better. Matt's legacy of kindness, love, and thoughtfulness will live on through his wife, Jennifer, and their beautiful children, Bryce, Carter, and Audrey. I know I will carry the memories of Matt throughout the remainder of my life. The twinkle in his deep blue eyes, the smile that was always on his face, and his love for his wife and children. Matt, you were one of a kind, and I am a better person for having known you.
Okay, Johnny Leonard.
Hello, hello. Mine's more of a toast to Matt. I spent a lot of times in his kitchen, a lot of times at parties with Matt, a lot of times toasting with him. So I will have you have your glasses ready. Those of you who are able to have glasses ready, kids, just sit there. And we will see you in the skies above, and in the tall grass, and in the ones you love. And that will keep us warm when we are cold. To Matt.
Is Larry able to come up to the front of the room? I thought I saw him. Thank you, Larry's around. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on, I can't see anything.
Well, I'm part of Matt's town family. Matt had a lot of families. Here we are all gathered. I don't think he was Italian, but Lebanese, yeah. So, but On behalf of the town family, I mean, Matt, he was one of my first bosses as I came in. I started 6 years ago, and Matt was on the board. And I'd like to say he took me under his wing, but it was a turkey wing. I didn't know what he was talking about. He kept saying, Larry, I'm going to take you under my wing, but it's a turkey wing. And then I found out a couple years later when he decided, okay, it was okay, and he could invite me to his birthday party. That was a wonderful thing. It's amazing how people touch lives and they don't necessarily know, and certainly we don't know how others touch people's lives. But Matt touched so many lives in so many wonderful ways, and he brought so much happiness to all of us, and he's still bringing it to us today. He really is. And I just met somebody 15 minutes ago, Andy Moravec. Is Andy here? There he is, over there. And I'd never met Andy before, but we were talking, how did you know Matt? And Andy worked in the Emporium store for 3 years, he told me. 3 parts of 3 years. And I was saying, oh, Matt must have just been great. He's a great boss. He must have been so much fun to work with. I was like, because he is fun. And Andy said, yeah, he was a great boss. I said, but what he really taught me was ethical workplace. How you bring ethics to your workplace. And I was like, wow. So there was a piece of Matt. He was that kind of rounded person. Fun, 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 absolutely. But he had created an ethical workplace. God bless you, Matt. Thank you so much. He's a wonderful guy.
Speaking of family, Jennifer's been very blessed to have so many of Matthew's family here, and Matthew's father was visiting in Florida all the way from South Africa, so he's been able to be here and get to know Matt's life and the community he lives in.
Some years ago, I asked my father, who was in his mid-80s, if you could look back over your life and sum it up in a few sentences or a paragraph, what would you say? And he summed it up in one sentence. He said, where did it all go? Now, in a sense, with Matt, that it's, you can feel sad about your mother and your father and friends that pass away. But with your mother and father who are older and have had a long, good life, it's sort of understandable. With a younger person, it's more difficult. I would say it's an unrequited life, an unfinished life. We needed Matt here to finish his life. Now, the one thing that has really sort of overwhelmed me is all of you just coming and being like a warm blanket. At the hospital, poor Jen, and the ladies and the children and the family, it was heartbreaking, and we had our ups and downs. Some days we'd be positive, some days we were not so positive. But the warmth and the generosity and the kindness from the community, outstanding. God bless you all.
I don't know if all of you remember this, but Matt and Jen got married here at the Nonantum, and I was lucky enough to coordinate that 10 years ago. And Matt's brother-in-law, George, actually did the wedding ceremony. So, George, we'd like to say a few words.
I to say thanks to everybody. As Don has said, it's been an overwhelming experience to see the showing of affection and concern for this young man. I have had an opportunity to marry into an incredibly wonderful family that he had an opportunity to be born into. The family itself is overwhelming. In life, you have truly more than one family. People sometimes think, well, my family is a blood right. It's more than that. This is a family. And I look out at this family and I say to myself, wow, I've had an opportunity to become part of this family. And it's an amazing group to see. It's a love and affection that can only be considered rare, but yet very appreciated by all involved. And I thank everyone for that. It's truly a public family. You have a private family. Without question, it reigns number one. To Jennifer, we extended a tremendous amount of love to her and her private family. Matt was part of that private family. There's also this large public family, and it's incredibly, incredibly nice to see. I knew Matt in a different way than some. Matt would call me on certain things. We'd talk at weird hours of the night and stuff over things that my wife never knew anything about. And I'm going to say, out of complete care and affection, his wife knew nothing about it either. But we would talk about things, and he was truly a wonderful man. One day he visited, well, several times he visited my wife and my incredibly wonderful daughter. One of the mornings he was there, I have a peculiar thing about my life, is I like to watch the sunrise every day, no matter where I might be. It's just one of my funny things. And one morning Matt was there, I woke Matt up, I said, Matt, let's go. I happened to have a boat that was available to be used. I don't know, it was 5 o'clock in the morning. I grabbed Matt, I said, we're going out in the boat. It was cold. He goes, what? I said, yeah, come on. And Matt, okay, great. Matt jumps in the boat and off we went. And we live in the South Florida near an inlet to the ocean. And we went out the inlet, and it was rougher than the dough. But that was okay. And it was Matt's going, what are we doing? I said, we got to get there. And he says, what? I said, there's an event that's going to happen that you have to see. And he goes, what? I go, just come on. So we're racing down the intracoastal waterway to the Atlantic Ocean, and we cracked through the inlet before the sunrise, and it was daybreak before the sunrise. So it was just at daybreak so we could at least see where we were going. We headed out in the ocean and watched the sun come up, and it was magnificent. I said, Matt, see this, see this? This is the event that as long as this happens, everything else that happens to us and to our family, we'll be able to handle, and they'll be able to handle, as long as this event happens. And we watched the sunrise, we talked about it, and I relate that to this event right now. As emotionally and tragic as this event of my friend and my relative happened to him, is that the sun is still going to rise tomorrow. And all of us in this room have to carry on. And all of us in this room have to stay strong for all of us that are still here. And that sunrise is a sign that every day, no matter what happens, when that sun comes up, the rest is up to us. And we've got to make 100% of the best and take advantage of everything we do. And Matt was one of those 100% plus guys. He did everything all the way and continued to do it no matter what. And that's something about him that we've all loved. That morning we turned around out of the ocean and went back to where we lived, and he headed up there. I think he woke up Jen and the kids and all that stuff, and you know, the whole thing. And he and I talked about that morning many different times. Because as all of us have had great difficulties in our lives, and he would call me and say, you know, X, Y, Z. I said, Matt, did the sun come up today? And he'd say, yeah. I said, well, then it's up to you. It may not be a good thing. It may be difficult. It may be hard. But the sun came up, Matt. Everything in the world did what it's supposed to. Now it's your turn. Get out there and face it. Fight it. Make the best of it. And you will succeed. And he was just a tremendous, tremendous person. And this time of the year is another big event that occurs. It's Christmas. It's coming up. And part of Christmas is the belief that there is a Santa Claus. That Santa Claus is real. Some people say, no, he's not. Well, you know what? He is real. He's always with us, no matter what might occur. He's in our hearts and he's in our minds. And we relate it to our children. We speak from emotion and we speak from love. Matt's right there with him. Matt will always be with us in our hearts and in our minds and in our love and in the appreciation we have for everyone that we've ever met. Matt, tragically, physically, is no longer with us. We can't change that. It's one of those things we have to accept. We don't have to like it, but we have to accept it. But his spirit, no different than the things we talk at this time of the year to little children and young folks, it's that real. He will always exist. He will always be part of my family. He'll be always part of your family, because this public family is absolutely A+, and I appreciate it extremely so. When I left my house home, one of my neighbors came up to us and gave us his particular sympathies and things, and he said something to me that I'll relate to y'all. He says, what can I do for you? And I say this to all of you also who might ask each other, what can we do? What can we do? And what I told my neighbor is the same thing I say to each and every one of you. If you want to know what you can do, you can forgive those around you that you've had a difficulty with. You can drop that grudge that you might have, and you can hug your family, you can hug your kids, you can hug the person next to you, and you can spread a little goodness. That's what you can do for me, is do that for yourself and make the world a little better place. And that's what I ask each and every one of us to do. I ask you to always remember that just like Santa Claus, Matt's there. He's not going away. No matter what anybody says, no matter how old we get, he's always going to be with us, and we're always going to love him. And I'll always be the same, no matter what occurs. He'll always be some late night weirdo phone call calling me on the phone going XYZ, and I'll go ABC, and he'll go okay. And my wife won't know, and his wife won't know. And we'll go on from there. So I just want to thank everybody and tell you how much we appreciate this outpouring, because it's unbelievably powerful. You guys are part of it. We have become part of it. And that public family is just unbelievably appreciated and thanked from each and every one of us. So thank you very much. Happy holidays, and you keep going.
Thank you, George. Tom McNamara?
Wow. We've been away for a while, and we were very blessed not to ever be too far away from Matt. We saw him a lot over the years in Florida, and didn't expect to be back here like this to see this, but it's been completely overwhelming, but hardly surprising how this town has been since I've been here. And a lot of great faces and a lot of great people. I was going to tell some stories, but there's still a lot of kids here, so I read something a couple weeks ago, and it was even before this happened, and it just stuck with me. And I'm going to keep this real short. That the quality of your life will be based or judged by the quality of your friends. And when I look around this room and see what's happened here, I think we might have gotten a better deal with Matt, because he was a great friend to all of us, and he'll be missed. We love you, brother.